Hi everyone, my name is AJ from 8 Ounce, and today we're going to be reviewing the new Flair 58. This comes in two different models. The one I have with me right now, it is the electronic version, which actually has a built-in heating element into the brew head, which I'll get into a bit later. It's super exciting. And if you get the Flair 58X, it is the brew head without this electric attachment. We are super excited that we're carrying now pretty much all of Flair's lineup here at 8 Ounce. This is a really great option to be able to have a really well put together espresso for a much cheaper price point. So without further ado, let's begin. Before I dive in a little bit deeper, I'm gonna give a bit of an overview of manual espresso lever style machines and how they compare differently to your traditional espresso machine that you would find in a lot of people's homes or in different cafes, and how you should actually go about thinking about espresso a little bit differently and the opportunities that a machine like this can provide. So in 1880, the steam espresso machine first came out. It brewed around 1 to 2 bars or so. So it was much thicker espresso, but definitely didn't have any crema. I think it was about 60 years later in the 1940s was when the first lever machine came out. This machine, thanks to manual leverage, it was able to produce 8 to 9 bars and produce a crema, which is the cream of espresso, and was an indicator of a really great high quality espresso in that time. And then about in the 1960s-ish or so, the E61 group head came out attached with the boiler and everything, and then which started the revolution of modern espresso, which we know today. John at Decent Espresso Machines has made the comment that this introduction of the E61 group head was actually the worst technology to be introduced to espresso and actually put it a step back instead of bringing it forward. Now, I'm just going to give a little bit of an overview of puck deterioration and how that is played into an espresso machine. So when you pull your shots on any sort of espresso machine, it's going to apply 8 to 9 bars of pressure, but that pressure is going to be consistent throughout the entire time of your shot until you tell it to quit, or until the program is run its course. Now, as you pull your shot, it's going to be maybe pulling around 1.5 grams per second for its flow rate, and then it's going to start to increase more and more because part of your puck is actually physically deteriorating as the shot pulls further and further, because you actually are extracting solids within the ground coffee, which then ends up into your espresso. But in this last half of the shot, as the puck begins to deteriorate more and more, and since this machine is putting the same amount of bars on the entire time, it increases your flow rate, which you can always see in your cup. That's why your last half of your shot's a lot quicker than your first half. But then also it increases the chances of channeling and over extracting certain parts of the puck. This type of pressure is what John from Decent Espresso is talking about, where his Decent Espresso machine actually profiles and adjusts this pressure accordingly to help mitigate that puck deterioration. A person that you can listen to is Lance Hedrick, and we'll leave a link down below. He also touches on the Flair and everything, and he goes into a much greater depth about this. That is why a lever machine is so great, because you're able to control those bars of pressure. So then ultimately, you'll be seeing this in clips throughout the video, where I'm not going to be actually pulling the same amount of pressure the entire time. What I'm going to be doing is, instead of keeping my pressure steady and then my flow rate is the one that is adjusting, I will then be pulling my shot according to my flow rate. And as my flow rate increases, I'm going to ease off of the pressure to maintain that same flow rate, so then it doesn't crack or cause extra channeling in the puck, which makes it a much more consistent and a really great shot to taste. And another great positive about the Flair 58 and a lot of manual espresso makers is that you can also choose your pre-infusion, which is the portion where, as the water is introduced to the puck, you're not putting very much pressure on it to really pull a shot, but really what you're trying to do is actually get water infused into the puck and really saturated, which actually can help evenness of an extraction and actually produce a much more sweeter and much more complex espresso. For a lot of entry-level espresso machines, Pre-infusion really isn't an option until you probably get to the Breville dual boiler, which we also carry. But a lot of machines don't have that option. It's sort of the pump is either on or off. But with the Flair 58, when you lock your portafilter in and you add in your water on top, the amount of time that you wait from after adding the water and then starting to apply pressure can be your pre-infusion time. And now you may ask, how do I record flow rate instead of pressure? Because you can obviously see here that it does have a barometer to be able to see the pressure that you're applying to the inside of your chamber. There is an app called the SE Profiler. It's a free app to download, and it syncs very easily into a Kaya Lunar's Hario Jimmy's, which can both fit underneath this drip tray. The 2021 new updated Lunar will actually have an LED bar on the bottom of the screen that actually indicates flow rate right on the screen, so you don't necessarily have to have an app in front of you. Now, I'm not saying if you have a manual espresso machine, you have to do it via flow rate instead of pressure. What I'm primarily trying to point out is that with the Flair 58, you have a lot more options and a lot more different techniques, like the Pavloni technique and other things that you can actually dive into deeper and go down those rabbit holes and see what's to discover. Thank you so much for watching this video today. As you can see, the Flair 58 is a really exciting machine, not only in terms of its technicality and what it can output, but also in terms of its just sheer beauty, including the simplicity of having a primarily powder-coated black frame, two nice little wood accents. The Kaya Lunar can fit into the bottom. It's a really great manual espresso machine that you can use and will by far be able to pull any sort of shot that you're looking to create and open up many new opportunities for you and your household. If you ever have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below or send us an email as well, and we would love to be able to answer any questions about this and help you navigate your coffee journey. Until next time, happy brewing.